Hello, how y'all doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
I wasn't talking to you. I was not talking to you. Can you see the YouTube? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, those yeah. Go over there. I want to see how it shows up for you. But either way, my lights are coming in tomorrow for that. So I mean that's going. I think it's tomorrow. But either way, they're going to come in tomorrow, and everything's going to be good as far as my lighting and all the different things we're doing. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Again, my name is Arnold Austin. I'm a certified relationship coach out of Jersey. I'm going to like I said, we're streaming from from TikTok, and also from YouTube. How do you see well on the YouTube, Renee? Can you see? Yeah, okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback. But last night what we were doing is we were talking a little bit about our mindset and our thoughts. And I was talking about that. I had a young lady that reached out to me, and in the process of her reaching out to me, I was kind of shocked because her mindset and her message to me was a message of someone giving up and basically giving up on love and relationships and things along those lines. Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for being involved. And so part of what I did when I sent her back a message is I said, I started sharing a little bit about our mindset and our thoughts and the way that we think. A lot of our programming and a lot of the thinking that we have is predicated upon when they've done the studies, they found that most of us, by the time we were 7 years old, a lot of our mindset and our thoughts and the way that we think about things was already pretty much set. And it was set based upon what? It was set based upon our environment. It was based upon our parents. The places that we went, the things that we did, the things that we were exposed to. But the thing that was so powerful about this, when I thought about it after talking to her, because what it did was it made me start doing some writing about these things, because this is some information that I've already known. But sometimes when someone says something, it kind of makes you reflect and makes you go back over information that you've already known and do a little bit more research. And one of the things that kind of caught my attention, which I think is very important, is that a lot of the people that we're going to meet, of course, that they learned a lot of the behaviors and things that they did at a young age or in their youth, and a lot of it was premeditated or basically formed by the time they were 7. But a lot of stuff that was formed in our thought process by the time we were 7 was stuff that was a lot of that stuff was unconscious things that we learned. Because a portion of that time you weren't even talking because you were a child, you were a toddler or whatever. So we learn these things based upon picking up certain behaviors and actions and thought process and things based upon our environment. This is why our environment is so important, especially now. If you're coming from, and why I'm talking about this is because if you're coming from a place where you've been hurt and you need healing, you have to change the environment that you're in. You have to move outside of the negative space and move into more of a positive place. That way you can start getting different results. You're not going to get positive results if you're hanging around people that are not on the same wavelength or not trying to lift you up and pull you into a higher place. So this is part of why I'm sharing about this, because your healing is one of the things that is important is, getting in the space of and around people that are there and this is why I came up with the mindset of creating a private community where I could have people within a community and we can help. And it's a place where everybody's kind of nudging each other. They're picking the next person up. They're encouraging somebody. They're telling somebody and a lot of the encouragement is based upon people just telling their stories of how what they've gone through and where they've come from and the things that they've been through. And I appreciate everybody that's tuning in from YouTube, everybody that's on, Facebook. I appreciate that, y'all. Sadie, I see you over here. Wow. Sadie's in the house. We got Ye Cats. We got Renee. Yo, y'all got me hyped over here. Let me stop. Let me calm down. But I can't do no backflips yet. But your mindset is everything, y'all. And so when you understand that based upon that training and based upon that thought process, now we got to go through a process, especially after a bad and a traumatic relationship. Now we got to go back to a process and we have to start doing what? We got to start reprogramming that mind. Part of the problem with reprogramming your mind is because the things that are in your mind aren't just in your mind on a conscious level, but they're in your mind on a subconscious level. So we understand that anything that represents where the root is sub is in front of a word, it represents something that's below, under. That's what the root sub represents. So like when you say submarine, it's an underwater craft, right? When you look at our subconscious, it's our thought process that's underneath our conscious thinking. Y'all, I said this yesterday. Sometimes people come out with studies and the studies aren't right. A study that they had a number of years back is that they said that most people only use maybe 10% of their thought process or their brain. Now they flipped the script, and now the mindset is they said, you know what, we were wrong. People use 90 to 95% of their mind, but what they did was they didn't realize that that we were using our subconscious mind, because they were coming from a study basis based upon our conscious mind, what was our thoughts in that moment. But when you understand that everything that our body and everything, and a lot of our organs and things are run based upon our subconscious mind, the mindset or the mind that's below our conscious level. Appreciate every single one of y'all that's tuning in. I'm sorry that, sometimes I'm not going to be able to say things to y'all in the chat, but I appreciate the chats. Keep moving. I appreciate the taps. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate y'all shares. But so when I started going over this, there's certain characteristics that you're going to have if you're in the place of someone that is going to change your subconscious mind. Because if you've gone through a number of relationships and you've and you're in a place where you don't believe that you can have a successful relationship, what happens is that you're coming from a place of you've trained your mind to not believe that you're capable of having a healthy relationship. You've trained your mind that you're not capable of meeting a good person. This is why you'll see people on these major podcasts and on these different videos, and they'll say things like there's no good people, and all men are this, and all women are crap, and all women are promiscuous, and all women they just want your money. People have these mindsets based upon their personal experience. That's not based upon the truth. And just because we had an experience, that's not a representation of the truth. That's a representation of our personal experience. And just because you experience something don't mean that you can't experience something else, right? I mean, that makes sense, right? Just because I experienced a negative experience don't mean that I can come back later on and have a positive experience where I'm going to see a shifting in my life. But it's going to go back to your mindset. This is why it's important that you're renewing your mindset daily. What are you putting in your mind? What are you reading? I talk about it all the time. The 4 areas that are critical in your healing journey is mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You have to work on your mental, your emotional, your physical, and your spiritual. So what are you doing as far as for your physical fitness? Are you doing any kind of workout? Are you doing any kind of walking? Are you doing any kind of maybe like hiking? Are you eating a little bit different? Are you doing meditation? Are you praying? I mean, so what are the things that we're doing in all of these areas that's going to help us start to shift that mindset, that starts changing the chemical reaction within our brain? Because if you're in a traumatic relationship, you not only had your heart was broken, but you have emotional trauma. And that's why they talk about PTSD. You have post-traumatic stress disorder, or CPD, FD, ABC, whatever. You're going to have some kind of results based upon all of it. And I'm sorry, y'all, I get a little crazy with my hands, but you know what? It's all good. But when you look at PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder. You're going to have disorders based upon your nervous system will not be regulated if you've been in a traumatic enough relationship. So this is why I suggest to people, you want to do certain things. You want to learn how to meditate. You want to learn how to start regulating your nervous system, getting back to a place of peace, a place where you're not on high alert at all times because you're worried about the next shoe to drop. But you're in a place where you're coming from more of a place of peace. You're listening to the high frequency music. You're getting back out into nature. If you're a biblical person, you're reading your Bible, you're praying, you're meditating, you're doing all the things you need. You're doing qigong, you're eating cleaner food. You're doing everything and anything you can to change your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. Why? Because you just went through a traumatic experience. Trauma is serious, y'all. It's almost like someone took a object and they ingrained an experience on our minds. The challenge is our subconscious records every single thing we do. Your subconscious mind recorded all of the events that have taken place within your life. This is why there has to be a process where we go back and we look at that mind and see what are the things that we believe and why do we believe them? Why do we believe these things? Why do we think that we can't create certain incomes? Why do we believe that we can't have healthy relationships? Because of something in our subconscious, because of something that we have accepted that someone has told us. But everything that people say isn't true. They're speaking based upon their life. Because your subconscious records everything. It's a recorder, and it records all of your long-term memories. All of your long-term memories are in your subconscious mind. the way that it's recorded is based upon your habits, the things that you continually do over and over again. This is why it's dangerous. And I suggest to people, you don't want to jump in from relationship because that's being recorded. It's on a loop. It's on an automatic loop in your mind. It's on an automatic loop in your mind based upon your experiences and based upon not giving yourself a break. You're going boom, boom. You're just jumping from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. So you got all these recorded images of things that look like your experiences. And they're true to you, but they're not facts. They're not actual truth. They're true to you, but they're not actual truth and facts. The second thing that are for our subconscious mind, it's always awake. Your subconscious is always awake. That's how you can, like I said yesterday, that's how you can sleep. You can be in bed, sleep, but your heart is still pumping. It's part of our system and the way that God made us, right? Third thing, controls 95% of your life. Your subconscious mind controls 95% of your life. It also will speak to you in dreams. Whenever you're dreaming, part of the way our subconscious mind speaks to us, it speaks to us in dreams. And it's going to speak to us in images. This is why a lot of times you have dreams, you say, oh, I can't understand my dreams, because we have to take the time to get back to a place of nurturing that part of our mind. Because all of the things that you want in your life are directly connected to starting to shift the thought process within our subconscious, starting to reprogram ourselves. And how are you going to reprogram yourself? By getting different information, by allowing different information to start taking place within your mind, to understand that our initial thoughts is just it's coming from a conscious level. Conscious just represents that I am aware of something. I'm aware that I'm sitting here. You're aware that you're watching me. You're aware that your television is on. You're aware that the computer's on. That's what conscious represents. It's a level of just awareness of where you are in your conscious mind. Because I'm going to jump back and forth from subconscious to conscious. So if you don't get this, you'll be able to pick this up, watch this video on YouTube. I might be able to get it or edit it and all this stuff, but I'm still trying to figure that out. From YouTube back to CapCut, then to TikTok and Facebook and all that. But we'll see. But the first thing with our conscious thought process is it's where all of your logic is. If you're a logical person, you're a person that's more in your conscious mind. Because you look at things from a logical perspective. The only problem is if you're coming from a logical perspective, you will not be able to manifest the things that you want in your life, the things that you dream about, because you're going to come from too much of a logical mindset. You have to come from the subconscious place, because that's where your creativity, that's where you can dream and your expansion is. This is why both minds play a part. This is why you go through the battle. The battle isn't a battle against other people. The battle is a battle in our own self, in our own mind. It's some people say it's good versus evil, but all it is one mind versus another. And you can say it's good versus evil, but there's always a yin for yang, yin for every yang. You're critical thinking. Are you a person that's a critical thinking? If you're a critical thinker, then what you are is you're a person that's dwelling in your conscious mind. You're a conscious thinker. You think from a conscious place. A place of where you are right now. The reality that you're in right now, that is where you're thinking from. You're not thinking from somewhere else. You're thinking from right now. But our mindset and our thoughts is critical, because if you're overthinking and you're thinking in the future, you're going to be anxious. If you're a person that's kind of thinking about your past, a lot of times what that'll do, that'll run you into a place of where depression will run. The conscious mind, that's where our willpower is. If you're doing something based upon your willpower, it's going to be hard for you to succeed in whatever it is that you're trying to do, because our willpower isn't enough. This is why, again, this is where this battle is. So if you start going to the gym, I'm going to explain this to you in layman's terms. If you're the type of person, you made a New Year's resolution and you said, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to go to the gym every week, 4 times a week. I'm going to eat certain things 5 times a week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If you made that declaration, then what's going to happen is you made that from a conscious level. When you make a decision from a conscious level, then all that is you made it from a logical standpoint. What's going to happen is your conscious mind is going to be tested based upon your subconscious, because until you get to the point where that thought that you initially made or decision that you made gets ingrained into your subconscious, you're going to have resistance, and the resistance is going to look like you're going to wake up one morning and your body's going to say, "Man, I'm sore. Man, I'm tired. You know what? I don't think I want to go today. I think I'm going to sleep in. You know what? I think I'm just going to take today off." If you take today off, then what you're going to do is you're going to give over to your conscious thinking instead of understanding this. What's happening is the conscious mind is fighting against your subconscious so that you can't record that behavior in that behavior into your subconscious. Because once that behavior is recorded into your subconscious, there's nothing that nobody can do to break it, because it's set, it's locked in. That's the power of our subconscious. That when you get something ingrained in your subconscious, there's nothing that you can do to break it. This is why I say all the time, it's a waste of time arguing with people, especially if they're coming from an emotional place, because their arguments are based upon something that they have in their subconscious. A lot of times it's not based upon a conscious thought. It's based upon a subconscious thought, something that they've thought about. This is why when you hit that button, they got to spew. They're going to spew out different things that they've already practiced in their mind. They got a story that they're already going to spew out because they practiced this story. Thank y'all for tapping the screen. Thank y'all for thank y'all for being alive in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Don't get mesmerized by the smoothness, y'all. Come on now. Don't get mesmerized. I had a friend of mine tell, I can't say that. But so your conscious thought process is where your short-term memories are. And so it's initial to short-term memories. It's where your decision making is. But your decision is not going to be a quality decision, like I often say, until it's been tested. You got to take it through the fire. And your subconscious mind is going to take that conscious thought through the fire. It's going to prove, do you really want to work out? Do you really want to change the way your body looks? Do you really want to eat a healthier lifestyle? Do you really want to be vegan? I don't know why somebody would want to do that, but or do you really want to be a vegetarian? Again, I don't know why anybody would ever want to do that, especially in the summer in Jersey when the barbecues is run. Oh my God! Why would you put yourself through that much torture? You smell them ribs on. Let me stay focused. Your conscious mind is where you set your goals, but it's the subconscious part is where the goal has to be refined, where it has to be, where it's going to be proven if in fact it's a true goal and if in fact you're going to accomplish that thing. Because when the storms flow and when the wind blows and when it gets tough and when it gets hard and when you don't feel like doing it, and because it's snowing or it's raining or something else happened, and like I had a day last week that it snowed, and my mindset was, but I've been working out for basically 3 years straight, with a couple weeks missing here and there, but 3 years straight. And so I went out there and I seen all that snow on my truck. I said, man, I'm not going nowhere today. But I earned the right not to go anywhere, because when I don't go somewhere, to what happens, my mindset, because it's ingrained in my mind says, it makes me feel guilty about going or not versus not going. A strong sense of guilt within myself happens if I don't do it. And it's not a struggle anymore. The struggle, the tug of war is no longer there. So it shows that it's part of who I am. It's part of how the engraving of who I am. Your conscious mind is where we set up all of our plans. When you plan that wedding, when you plan that person, when you see him and you say, oh, this is my person, we're going to be happy. That's where it's made. But it's going to be tested in your subconscious. It's going to be tested somewhere in the future. You know, our conscious holds a lot of our phobias and our fears. A lot of our phobias and our fears, that's where they're held. So I'm going to end the YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Sadie. I appreciate that. Thank you, you cats, Renee. Appreciate y'all being on YouTube. I'm going to end the stream and then I'm gonna go right back to TikTok. Hold on. Wait a minute.